Subscriber Showcase is the series that I do dedicated to the players that find me in the arena. They will shoot me an email at childish402@gmail.com with the subject line Subscriber Showcase. If I find them or they find me, they will let me know so that I can try to record their arena defense and talk about the pros and cons of their setup. So this one is going out to Devo. Now everyone's familiar with this name. We got ourselves a person that needs no introduction, has been a part of the Epic Fail Summoning Sessions for quite some time, so shout out to Devo. We got a speedier composition to show you guys today. We are rocking, we got ourselves, let's see, Tyron running that speed lead. We got Bernard. We have Galleon. And then we have Zaiross. All right, we have Zaiross. Okay, so let's go ahead and start out with the initial leader here. We got Tyron. Tyron, Despair Focus, a very common build. Looks like we're running speed, crit damage, attack with the Despair Focus. The focus helping getting the accuracy up a little bit. And then we got ourselves some runes here like this one, getting our crit rate up here. Speed, crit damage, attack. I am a big fan of this setup when it comes to PvP. I've used it for PvP. Now, if you're going back and forth between PvP and PvE, then you might find yourself having an issue with, this overall damage potential, right? When we're thinking about PvP and Tyron, we do kind of have to, play around with his runes so he can actually put out some damage, right? Your goal is to kill them, not for them to kill you. That's the way you set it up. So in this particular scenario, I like the crit damage, but I'm not too fond of the crit rate. I would see what I can do to improve it. I do understand that this particular skill will increase the critical rate, but you want it to be a little bit more reliable, because once it triggers, if you can get your crit rate up a little bit, once it triggers, then you want to have with that bonus skill, you want to have near to 100%. You want that thing to be critting all the time. So most definitely take advantage of that. Having an ability to critical rate buff on a skill that has the potential to attack consecutively, you really want to make sure you're getting every single potential amount of DPS out of there. So I'm a big fan of the 60 to 70 crit rate up in there before the leader skill buff, if you can. All right. So next one up, we got ourselves Bernard. Bernard Swift Broken, very common build that we see a lot of people do. Speed, hit point accuracy. As you could tell, he's using the runes that he got to get the speed that he wants. You guys know how it goes. Swift set, broken all day. You just do whatever you can do to get the speed. You're not too concerned about what the 4 and the 6 is, but obviously if you can get a little hit points, if you can get a little accuracy, it's going to help you out on the PvE side as well as the PvP side. Being able to sustain a little damage and provide some support when it comes to hostile effects, having that accuracy to land stuff, land those debuffs. So overall, a very nice Bernard. I do like it. 273 speed is pretty darn good. That'll be competitive in the Conquer 2, Conquer 3, and maybe a little bit Guardian 1 ranks. I find once we get into the Guardian, we have to consider having that 285 plus Bernard. But overall, for the Conquer 2, Conquer 3, that's 275 speed is not too shabby at all. Not too shabby at all. Next one up, we got ourselves Galleon. Okay, Galleon, take note, is a little bit different setup than you guys normally see. We got ourselves Double Shield Will. Double Shield Will. We're running speed, hit point accuracy, and take note that the shield, I know a lot of people get confused. I even got confused. I was talking to my guildies about it the other day. Shield, the bonus that you get with the hit points is 15% of the unit's max HP. This particular unit's max HP, so 50% of the 11k. Now times 2 on hit because he has a double shield. A lot of people think that this particular unit does have to be a violent set, and essentially I would love to see it on a violent set. But if you are using it as part of a wombo combo in your offensive thing, and that's generally where you're going to see a lot of people set up their units, their cleaving comps to do what they got to do, and you have control over the unit. The double shield wield is nice, since you're not going to always have that first turn and be able to soak in some of that damage. As far as the defensive setup goes, it's the unfortunate thing is that because you're not on shield wheel, or because you're on shield wheel, you don't have the opportunity to recast the third skill if you happen to derp on these two. And of course, this is one of those units that if you don't land, if you don't put that third skill down, the potential to clear to kill somebody drastically decreases because the ability of providing the defense break and the attack buff, it's a 1-2 punch. Everybody knows how strong this particular unit is. So offensively, I love this setup for shield. Will. Defensively, not a big fan of it. I would try to do something like a violent will. But again, I could see that he's using it for offensively, so he's just kind of filling the gap in with regards to his team. But that's just me. Take note though, and again, you could tell that he's using it for something else. He's using it for the offensive side because of his speed. So if you take a look at his speed, we're rocking like the 175 speed. Tyron here is 184 speed. So in this particular scenario, if he was using it just solely for arena defense, it would be an error, right? Because we want Galleon to go before any AoE user, regardless if he's set up for CC or not. You want to take every opportunity to take more damage. So if Devo, if you have this particular unit just for PvP, you're not using it too much for PvE, I would definitely consider mixing and matching the runes to maybe dip down the speed just a little bit. Maybe you find yourself one of these runes that has a little bit less speed, a little bit higher crit rate, so you can get 2 bangs with 1 buck. And then you can, get him in sync. That being said, that's just if you want to try to perfect this particular team you're doing. If you're using the setup that you have with the other unit in another particular comp, then that's going to be more important for you at the end of the day. And then last but not least, we got ourselves Zaiross. Fatal Will, speed, crit, damage, attack. And again, I love this. I love the fact that he's running a Fatal speed rune. For all the users out there that are watching this, I'm gonna be talking about it in another segment, probably in a critical thinking series, talking about a variety of unorthodox runes, right? Runes that people will essentially possibly throw away, but it's not, because they're like, oh, that thing sucks or whatnot. I need to get attack or damage, attack, whatever. Well, depending on where you're at in the game, you might find yourself realizing that in order for you to sync up certain compositions the way you want it to be, and you don't have the subsets that you want on the other particular runes, you have to play with a speed run on the particular unit. And with a unit like Zaiross that has a really nice base attack, has the ability to provide the attack power if you so choose, he has multiple ways of getting himself a good amount of attack power, right? And so I'm a big fan of if you do run like a Fatal set or whatnot, don't be afraid to go speed on too, especially if you get a rune like this that has the crit rate, that has the attack power. That's definitely something you want to go to. Now, if you're looking at a Fatal rune with speed that has horrific substats, then yeah, it's a no-go. But if you can make up some of the attack power loss and the critical rate that you need to run a crit damage on 4, then yeah, I'm a big fan of this particular set here. Obviously, another opportunity here that I would do is probably take this defense plus 22 and convert it to a crit damage enchantment if you got that, just to get yourself a little bit of crit damage. But at the end of the day, it's all in how you see it. The amount of crit damage that you can add on a particular rune is not going to be too much. So if you're trying to improve the DPS overall at any way you can, then yeah, that's the way to go. Do what you got to do. Other than that, everything looks pretty good. Not too shabby at all. Could use a little buff on the critical rate, but overall, not too bad of stuff. I just say, like I said, on this particular comp, the speeds for Tyron and Galleon are a little off, but essentially Galleon's used for something else. But that's pretty much it for that particular composition, guys. So again, thank you all for tuning in for this subscriber showcase. Let's see how Devo does. We will be right back. It's your boy Childish. ChildishPlays checking out. Take care, and we'll see you next time, guys. We're out.